How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another preview. This time it's the Champions League. We kick off the first game of the Champions League campaign. All eyes are going to be on Arsenal. Hopefully we can go to Athletic Club and get the 3 points and sit top of the table for at least a couple of hours, depending on what happens in the other results. Look, a 1-0 win away is good enough away from home in the Champions League, knowing that you've got 4 home games to come and 3 away games. So look, we'll preview the game, Athletic Club. I believe this is our first ever meeting with them. Athletic Bilbao Athletic Club. Have they had a name change? Because as far as I was aware, there was Athletic Bilbao. But nevertheless, it's a massive game. It's the Champions League. A lot of our players, it's the first time ever competing in the Champions League, such as Madueke, Eze. Obviously, Gyökeres and them, they've played in the Champions League. Odegaard and the other Arsenal players have. Norgard hasn't. He may feature in the upcoming season. You got the likes of Daumann, who will hopefully be the youngest ever participant in the Champions League. I'm hoping tomorrow, if not, the following game at the Emirates. But look, it's a massive game. We're back for the Champions League. We was the semi-finalists last season. We did unfortunately bottle it at home against PSG, where on another day, we beat them 3-0 comprehensively. We get a 1-1 draw away, and we go on to beat Inter Milan 3-4-0 in the final. But it wasn't to be. You've sometimes got to suffer to see the brighter days, and hopefully that suffering last season and the last couple of seasons, those second spot finishes, is the springboard for, what's the right word? For success. Yeah, success. Let's keep it simple. So look, let's get into Athletic Club. Now, for me, Athletic Club, obviously they're a good side. I think this is the first time they're ever competing in the Champions League themselves, so they've done amazing to get that top 4 or 5 finish in La Liga last season in order for them to be competing and participating in the Champions League this season. Now, look, they've got a few good players there. They've got some known internationals, for example, Spain's number 1 keeper, Unai Simon, and then they've got the likes of Nico Williams. They've got his brother, and a few other players who are good team players, and that's the reason why they are ultimately in the Champions League. Look, a lot of people say the Premier League's the best league in the world, but a lot of people don't watch La Liga and the other leagues. I don't believe you can say the Premier League is the best, and then PSG just run away with the Champions League. And it's unfair to say that if you're not watching or keeping an eye on all the other leagues. Yes, the Spanish league is always about Barcelona and Real Madrid, but if you look at the Premier League, the last 7-8 winners, it's just Liverpool and City. So arguably, you can say the same thing. It is a farmers' league because City or Liverpool win it every season, and City's won like 7 in the last 9. So the Premier League is possibly a farmers' league as well. So look, it's unfair to criticise these other leagues. Yes, I'd agree and say the English League has got the most money and they want it to be like the Super League. But let's respect the other leagues, yeah? Let's respect the other leagues. So look, Athletic Club, it's going to be massive for them. The first game of the Champions League there to kick it off, a 5:45 kickoff in Spain. And is there an hour time difference? The last time I went to Spain was like 2011, 12. I don't remember if there's a time difference, but if there is, it's minimal. Either way, anyway, it's 5:45 here in the UK. And Athletic Club are going to want to make this a tough game for us. They're obviously going to want to play for 3 points. They're at home. They're going to want to put up a show. And look, it's going to be difficult. But on paper, you would imagine Arsenal will ease through that game. It's an away game, so what? If you've got the confidence and the mentality, and you're playing to win, and you've been injected with the right sort of attitude from the management, from top to bottom, then you go out there to win. You don't go out there and say a draw's a good result because it's average. You want the 3 points. You want to come back to Emirates and get another 3 points, and then leave yourself as little as possible to do towards the last 2-3 games, where there's a little bit of room for error. Yeah, you want to have that on your plate. So look, let's get into the head-to-head. But to be completely honest, the head-to-head's going to be very short, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Now, Arsenal and Athletic Club have never actually played together in the Champions League. Obviously, Athletic Club, it's their first ever time participating, I believe, in the Champions League. I'm not sure about the one before, the Champions League back in 90s, 80s, whatever it was called, I've forgotten. But anyway, I believe it's their first participation. And for Arsenal as well, I don't believe we played them in the Europa League or any other European competition. But having said that, we did play against them in the pre-season, and I think did we win that 4-1, something like that? Or did we go on to draw and then get beat on penalties? I don't even remember these pre-season games, but I know we won one, and then that was against Milan, and then I think Athletic Club we might have lost that one. But anyway, look, head to head, it's nothing to say. There's been no games apart from that pre-season friendly, which you don't really add. I'm not going to put the result and stuff like that on there. It doesn't mean anything. You can't look into that and say, oh, we got a goal there, we conceded a few there. It's a different ball game. It's a different ball game. So look, it's interesting. It's going to be an interesting game, and the lineup for me is going to be very interesting as well. Does Arteta rotate again, or does he go with a strong team, knowing that he's got Man City on Sunday? Who knows? Let's get into it. So the lineup for me is very difficult to say, because on one hand we've got Man City, but we're playing on Sunday, and Man City actually play on Thursday night, believe it or not, which is terrible for them. But there's no sympathy, because that happened to us last season. The first game of the Champions League we played on Thursday night, and also on top of that, the away we finished in the top 8, and then every single knockout round we played at home first. I don't know about the PSV one. I think we played away there first. But other than that, the Real Madrid and the other team that we knocked out, whoever it was, we played at home first and then away, even though we finished in the top 8, which was unfair. So there's no room for sympathy and feeling sorry for the opponents. It's not our business. We focus on us. So look, do we put out a strong team, or do we find the right balance but make it still competitive enough to win the game? For me, we go for a strong side, hopefully win the game by the 60th minute and then rest the players. Let's not do it the other way around, where you're chasing the game with 30 minutes to go and your game plan's all up in the air. You bring in every single player on out of position here. You're getting into desperation mode in game week 1. Let's not do that. So for me, David Raya plays. Yeah, Kepa's not playing this game for me. On the right, Ben White's good enough to play. I'm going to go with Ben White. Let's put a bit of a rest on Timber's legs. He's had a lot of game time in the last year or so. So Timber rests this one, but has a bit to play towards the end if the game plan goes well. In the back, Mosquera plays. Let's give Saliba a bit of a rest, and hopefully he'll be back match ready for Sunday. On the left centre back, we don't want to change it too much. We could put Hincapié on there for his debut, which I'm really tempted to do. But at the same time, we don't want to change too many players. So Gabriel plays this one for me. As a left back, it's Calafiori. I'm sorry, but Luis Skelly for me, he needs to be eased into the team again. I don't think he's ready for this game away. I know he's a top player and he's done Arsenal proud, and he's an international footballer now. But Calafiori for this one is for me is more level-headed. He's more like sort of like stricter with himself. He's not got that much freedom to sort of go into midfield and start pulling the strings. He's more or less one of them where he does his job. And for 60, 70 minutes, I think he'll be good enough. So Calafiori is my left back. Zubimendi starts for me as the number 6. What a player we've got there. Unbelievable. Norgard is injured again. We could put Rice there, but let's stick with Zubimendi. Odegaard is probably going to be injured and may not be fit enough to start this one. I'll be surprised if he does. But let's start Ethan Nwaneri there, yeah? On the other side, it's Declan Rice. He starts this one. Obviously, he played 20 minutes at the weekend, but he starts this one for me. And then the front 3, I don't think there's any reason to change that. Madueke, Victor G, and Eze on the left. That attack, even if we had that all season, is fucking one of the best out there in the Premier League. So you can't complain. And then you've got the likes of Saka to come back, Havertz to come back. There's a lot of room for rotation there, and it's a good headache to have. So that's my team. Now the result for me, look, I'm a respectful guy, right? And I'm not going to be saying we're going to go there and smash them. I hope we do. I hope we absolutely tear them apart and their Champions League campaign gets off to an actual nightmare, fucking a humiliation, like a 6-7-0 victory. But I don't think that's going to happen on the first day of the season, especially with Arteta's approaching some of these away games. But in the European stage at the minute, Arteta away from home is doing very good. And you know what? Fair play to him, because even in the Wenger days, going away to big teams in Europe, we never really got results. I know we got a few, like at the Bernabeu, Inter Milan 5-1, and a few here and there. But Arteta's getting good top results away from home now. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 victory to Arsenal. And that's not disrespecting Athletic Club, but Nico Williams is more than likely out. I don't think he's the player that everyone makes out him to be. I think Eze's a lot better than him. I think Madueke is on level with him, but is more of a threat to me. His dribbling and 1v1 is unbelievable, honestly. It's fucking unbelievable. So that's my team, and my prediction is 3-0. And yeah, you got to let me know what you think. Have I got it wrong? Have I got it twisted? Or is that the right sort of result everyone is expecting? Let me know.